For this Oklahoma game, true freshman Winston Watkins had something like 117 career receiving yards. He had 111 in Oklahoma, so he almost doubled his career receiving yards. I think we can call that a breakout game against Oklahoma, and we're going to take a look at some clips. He only had 4 catches, so I'm not sure how long this video is actually going to be, but he's one of those guys that you just look at running routes, and you can tell this dude's going to get open at a very high clip when he's a bigger part of this Ole Miss offense. For the most part, this game, the majority of the yards came from one run after the catch and then one where he kind of stretched the field. He does that fine, but I really get excited about these 10-yard routes, the way that he just snaps off at the top of the breaks here because it's so athletic. We watch a lot of receivers on this channel, and then even on Twitter, you guys see all the camps with the wide receivers and the way that they all, go like, whoa, 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 and all the noise they make running routes, and, they just like over-exaggerate the route running, and it looks like they know what they're doing, but then you actually watch the film and, they don't really get open. Winston Watkins, he doesn't do all that extra stuff, but you can see just how quickly he turns on a dime. You just see how smooth it is. There's no wasted motion in his movements, and to me that kind of is a mark of a receiver that's going to get open. Garrett Wilson's a guy. Only reason I bring up Garrett Wilson is because of the way that Winston Watkins kind of slips on the next play, but you can see first the change of direction and then the way that he's able to accelerate over the middle, gets behind this middle hole dropper here, and then this is a good throw by Chambliss hitting him, and it's a good job by Winston Watkins getting down, avoiding a hit that he doesn't need to take. This next one, just snaps this off really aggressively. I don't know if you see how smooth the movements are, just nothing's wasted to me. Garrett Wilson does this a lot. He gets the ball in his hands. He's a great route runner, at least when he was a bit younger. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the Jets, and he used to play at Ohio State. He's just the change of direction is just so crazy with Garrett Wilson. Sometimes he gets too excited with the ball in his hands and he just kind of slips like that. And I think that's what happened with Winston Watkins here. He just got too excited with the ball in his hands and just kind of went down. I don't think he was making a business decision. I think he was trying to go left, right, and then his legs just gave out. Just a bit too fluid for his body, I think. And then this next one was a 40-ish yard reception. Breaks over the middle here. Chambliss puts this on the money. And then the acceleration into the open field. This is a better job finishing this one with extra yards right here. And we'll see this from another angle as well. You see just how soft that is. Also number 17. I'm not making the Garrett Wilson comparison. I'm not trying to set too high of a standard, but that's just what it reminded me at the beginning. Anyways, just how easy it is for him to change direction. I think that's what gets me excited about him long term. And I know it wasn't like I said, it was a lot of the good deal of his yards was from that last play with the ball in his hands, and then this next one where he's open downfield, stretching the field. He did a good job of that, but I think if you're going to buy stock on Winston Watkins long term, it's going to be about his ability to separate as a route runner and get open in the short to intermediate range, and then have the ability to do stuff like this. Just take the top off the defense here, and you see the change of direction ability again, just left, right, and then just accelerates into the field here. Another good throw by Chambliss. And then really the only reason I included this other angle was so we can not make fun, but I mean this ref was moving. Look at the backpedaling of this ref right here. That looks pretty good for a referee, and then just kind of slips on that mat there, and then Lane Kiffin's going crazy on the sideline. Anyways, that was Winston Watkins. Yeah, he's been really, really fun to watch this last game. 4 catches, that's the most he's had in an entire game. And this is a guy that, like I said, I talked about the change of direction ability. That gets me excited about him long term. But this year, it's kind of cool to see him step up into that situational. That last run that last catch we just had was pretty much to ice the game. That was pretty much the last play of the Ole Miss Oklahoma game. After he caught that, Oklahoma was pretty much down for the count. So it's pretty cool to see him step up into that role, and I do think this is a guy that's going to have a much bigger role in this Ole Miss offense. Probably not this year, but in 2026, just based on that change of direction ability. You guys let me know what you think. If you want a place to check out all Ole Miss players or even any SEC, anybody across the country, please check out we-draft.com. Thanks for watching.